we have the Lifetime Achievement Award, which will be presented by Steve King and Sunny Sundowner.
Thank you. I'm Sunny Sundowner, and I want to say thank you to Tom Swan and Veterans for Peace. Arturo Kunkin. Now back to our program. Arturo Kunkin, what can you say? Wow, picture's worth 1,000 words. Seeing the guy in person's worth a gazillion words, so we're going to have that opportunity in a moment. But I first want to say, when I first had him up to the Joshua Tree Beatnik Cafe, dating myself, 10 years ago, on January 17, 1967, celebration of the first BM, and I had him introducing him to Ted Quinn's Peaceful Show, whatever was going on the radio, and I was telling him about my introduction to Art Kunkin and Yogi Johns and the Silver Lake or Fairfax District, and what was this weird tantric alchemy stuff he's talking about, making it 200 years old. Sure, we'll touch on that. But then I handed it over to Art. He said, well, do you want to talk about the past or what we can do now to change things? Woo! He popped my bubble, brought me back into the now. So that's what, I'm not going to take too much more of your time, except to invite you up to Joshua Tree on Wednesdays. And also to say, let's keep doing what we're doing, people, so that we don't have to ask a question like, MIC, made in China, K-E-Y. Thank you. Also to quote my hero, Sixto Rodriguez, anger is much too valuable of an emotion to waste on someone you really don't like. What we need is a really long ceasefire. Yes. Emaho. Thank you all. It's a pleasure.
I want to thank you very much for this. I'm 88 years old now. I'm a little confused. The free press was the internet in the 1960s. And most of you don't know that besides the free press, there were about 600 other papers around the world that I helped start and was in touch with. And that was how the 60s notion of freedom spread throughout the world. This was the very first issue of the Free Press, and it was produced at the KPFK Renaissance Fair. So the first page was current events in kind of medieval form. Students having been at longbow demonstrations, Shakespeare denouncing filth, and then inside was a statement to KPFK Pacifica and various little articles, and a dear reader which introduced the notion of the free press. And this continued for 10 years afterwards, every week for 10 years, until I published the names and addresses of all the narcotics agents.
That takes huevos.
And got sued by the state of California for $25 million. And I won the lawsuit at the Supreme Court level, but when broke in the process. One of the things about the Free Press that was a major feature, it came out of the John F. Kennedy assassination. And the theme of the Free Press, in large regard, was assassination to replace voting. That was this headline.
Just breaking today.
And during the course of it, this is a section of the LA Times about me. And one of the biggest stories that I came across was about Nixon possibly canceling the 1960s elections.
72.
The 72 elections. And this is still on the horizon as far as I'm concerned. That we're having a wonderful time here, but this is still a country which has been ruled by assassinations and in which the democratic process is very fragile. And that's basically what I wanted to say. In this picture of me, I'm wearing a t-shirt that says all. And that's an organization I started called the Association for Longer Life. And one of the things I've been involved in, particularly recently, is the fact that aging, which we're all experiencing here, and I see a lot of gray beards and so forth, that is coming to an end. The science of aging is being discovered, and it's known exactly why aging is taking place. At the ends of every chromosome, there's a little cap called a telomere. And this cap gets smaller and smaller and smaller as the chromosomes regenerate and separate and duplicate, until finally the chromosome dies and we die. But there's an enzyme that the body produces that allows this chromosome to last for a very long time and slows down the deterioration of the chromosome ends. And this enzyme is called telomerase. And this is going to be available, and it's going to make everyone immortal. I cannot emphasize how much this science fiction notion is going to change the world that we live in. And I just want to say that this is what I'm working on, and I hope that some of you will come to see me and talk to me and be on my email list about this, because this is the biggest story of the time, that the next generation is not going to age. So,
Can I just remind people that you write for the Desert Valley Star periodically. You can read about this in Art Kunkin's column in the Desert Valley Star. Art, I was wondering if just for a moment you might speak about your activism in the U.S. Army and why did you get an honorable discharge? Or not.
well, Sonny wants me to talk about the fact that I am a veteran. I went into the Army very reluctantly. I was drafted. 2 days after I was in the Army, they gave me my 201 file to take to a dental office. That's the brown envelope with all your records. And I looked inside of this file, and there were 2 red stickers indicating documents that had been removed. And what had been removed was my loyalty oath, because I had been a member of the Socialist Party, never was a Stalinist, never was a supporter of Russia, but I was active in the socialist movement. And the other red flag was connected to a piece of paper that was a letter from the commanding general at the Presidio in San Francisco, and the letter said, "Private Arthur Kunkin is not to be removed from Fort Ord without my specific permission." I'm in the Army 2 days. So I went through basic training, and I acquitted myself as a soldier should. I learned how to shoot. I'm not a pacifist. I like the idea of the military in that respect. When I got out of the basic training, they put me in a replacement depot for 4 months while they were deciding what to do with me. And of course I knew that there was this letter from the commanding general at the Presidio saying I shouldn't be moved. Then finally they found I could type, and they put me into as a company clerk in a training company. And the first week that I was there, my master sergeant got sick, and I took over the operation of the company. That is the office operation. And that's what I did for the remaining time I was in the Army. I had people coming in doing my typing and so forth, but I spent my time helping people get out of the Army. I became an expert in Army regulations and helped people write letters and so forth. Finally, I got a letter of derogatory allegations at the camp post office. It didn't come through the normal channels. It came to me directly from Washington, 3 derogatory allegations, and it was all on one page, one long run-on sentence. Some of it was true, and some of it was false. So I went to the American Civil Liberties Union and asked them what I should do. And they said, well, since it's partially false, just deny the whole thing. It's just one sentence. So I sat there, and finally I asked for a hearing. The allegations said that I was a communist, which I wasn't, that I had attended socialist meetings in uniform, which I didn't, and things of that order. So finally, I was discharged from the Army, and here I am among you, a veteran of sorts.
Stephen Finger has something to offer to Arturo Kunkin on the behalf of the Veterans for Peace Lifetime Achievement Award. And thank you, Paul Krasner and Nancy King, for inspiring this moment too.
Okay. The first award is from the California State Assembly, a certificate of recognition presented to Art Kunkin, founder and past publisher, Los Angeles Free Press, in honor of lifetime achievement.
About it. Wow. Double award ceremony.
When they realize what they've done, we'll get another letter. And then from the Veterans for Peace, a Lifetime Achievement Award for Outstanding Service to Art Kunkin, founder and past publisher, Los Angeles Free Press. We honor your leadership and lifetime devoted service to our country. Also your tireless efforts to advance equality, peace, and social justice.
Wow, and also let's hear it for Stephen Finger, who's the successee of the current Los Angeles Free Press. Art Kunkin, thank you.
Sonny, without your magic touch, it still works.
I'm a little overwhelmed by all of this. And I want to thank all of you for being here, and I hope to get to know you better. I'm thinking of putting out an email newsletter, maybe calling it the New Free Press. And I'd like all of you to get it. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you.